Once again, we've had an attack of what we call the self-righteous imbecile. The defenders of all that is right and moral. It just drives me insane because this happens a lot. Um, Remember when you had all the anti-DWSR stuff, which was headed by some dumbass who was one of the ones who was always on set, all because of an incident that so he tried to sell as his grand conspiracy theory that turned out to be nothing. Mutt whaling and his mom. The guy who attacked, people I know about how they're hounding people. Yet I can count almost on one hand how many times he was on set and has pictures with like Peter Capaldi and other people. But if anyone else does it, they're hounds. They're way calls. They're some kind of degradable being. Some insufferable harassers. And now here we go again with the self-righteous defenders of X, formerly known as Twitter. All it was a Doctor Who filming locations. All he did was something the tabloid news does, your regular news does, or even your local, city publications do. All he said was Eve Miles is filming in Cardiff on another production. Next thing you know, here come the haters. And they come in droves. How dare you? One guy even went to make up this, quote. All right, now I'm going to have to paraphrase because, I wasn't going to bother to memorize this all the way, but hello everyone, someone's in town and blah blah, so please come harass, something along that line. And it's like, that's not what he said. He just said Eve Miles is in town filming out another production. No, she's not doing war between the land and the sea and all. It's for a whole nother thing. And here come the self-righteous defenders of good and all that they feel is decent. It's like, guys, your local press does this all the time. Your national press does this all the time. Yet, if an individual does it, they're attacked. And I went through this with, like I said, I remember when George Baker was going through all this, a bunch of other people, and I'm like, the only main reason they do this is because they're jealous. Because I guarantee you, most of these guys who are jumping on the set reporters, as we call them, are people who, if they had the chance, would be down there right alongside you doing the exact same thing. And then because they're not, either they're just plain lazy or they're, tied to work or they're in a different location, they attack those that have that because they're jealous of them. They just don't want to come out and say that. Because I remember when all this was going on before, especially when they had the whole last day of filming fiasco where they were accusing people of falsifying information to throw other people off and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. It was all completely untrue. The only thing that happened that day was the BBC and A Miracle of Miracles finished filming a day early. Exactly. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of people who, if they could be there or they had access to the information you have access to, will attack you openly because and declare it to be in some kind of self-righteous cause to make them look like they're defending the virtuous nature of mankind. Like I had people attacking me back in the day when I had some things I called right. And like I said, I've never been 100% right. Like I said, I got fooled by the chaos in Cardiff thing. I'll openly admit that I'm only a human being. And yes, I'm a jealous old bastard because if I could be over there in Cardiff right now, I would be. But I channel that into other more positive things. I don't attack people on the internet because they have access to something I would give my right arm to have access to. Well, maybe not my right arm because, well, we won't go into that. I would love to be able to go to Cardiff just once in my lifetime and be there for filming. But with my health conditions, my job status, plus, responsibilities here, I'm likely never going to have that opportunity. But I can live, you know, vicariously through them and be happy for them. Because thanks to them, I have access to information that I wouldn't normally have, access to, as far as, where they are, what, not what they're doing, essentially, just where they are. Um, and it always made me throw fits, especially when other fans attack fans for doing something they do in a heartbeat. But this whole, thing, all he said was Eve Miles is going to be in Cardiff this week. Which, as I said before, your local news will do it. Your national news will do it. Especially with Eve being such a big star, coming off of, Keeping Faith, as well as many other, great productions she's been involved in. I've never watched We Hunt Together or something like that. I got to find that one and watch it. But exactly. If they actually came to Lima, Ohio, I'll put it to you this way: I'm gonna have to barf up a lung, and I'm gonna have to call work. Well, luckily I do have a lot of days off, but thanks to some other stuff. But damn straight, I'd be there at least once. I highly doubt that's gonna happen. There ain't much going on in Lima, Ohio, that's worth filming. Yeah, it's a slightly rainy morning here today. I forgot to check the temperature, and I don't have the temperature on the screen in this car. I've been forgetting to do that lately, I notice. You see, when I went to this car, it's a lot like going back to basics. You don't have all this information you don't need popping up on your displays. Well, Cleveland is now 4 hours away from me. At a rough guess, okay? Because I take my sweet ass time when I go to visit, the parents and my mom and dad and all them, because, yeah, sure, I could take the highway and be there in just around 2 hours. But if you've seen how they drive on the interstates around here, I take the back roads. Nice, steady, slow drive, a lot less traffic, and you get there alive. So in exchange for an extra hour travel time, I have comfort and a whole lot less stress. Okay? So, give me that any day of the week. But Cleveland from here, like I said, Cleveland's about another half hour or so past where I live, and that's on the interstate. And I know I've been there. Yeah, like Lady G said, yeah, it's everywhere is dangerous. I've not personally driven through Louisville, but if you've ever been on the Chicago Loop, oh, you know what terror is. Oh, I think what do you call it? I think that day, those couple times, or well, at least the one time I remember being on the Chicago Loop, because I decided to take the short way to Chicago TARDIS. No. I think I'd rather prefer to be in Dexter's Kill Room than be on the Chicago Loop ever again in my life. Okay, it's just... Yeah, my dad was a really crazy driver because We used to go down south every summer, and whatever car we were in, let's just say if you had to go to the bathroom, there was a standard procedure. Cross your legs, hold it, and pray. All right? Especially once he hit the West Kentucky Parkway. Yeah, everybody thinks they're like, Mario Andretti or, Al Unser or, the good old Intimidator. And it's just a mess. Yeah, everybody thinks they're Dale Earnhardt or it's just, oh God. It's horrible. Well, folks, like I said, keep your eye out. If people start bugging you because you've posted something that they don't like, ignore them. That's what I do. Like I said, I know what it's like to be botted. I know what it's like to be trolled. All you can do is ignore them and keep moving on. Don't let them take your time. Okay, well, I got to get running inside. I'm a couple of minutes over. So please be kind, be calm, be safe. Take care of yourselves today. We'll hopefully see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one, everyone.